there, folks. Happy WikiTree Day. How are ya?
Nice shirt, Greg.
Oh, thank you. I just got this. That's why I was late, because I had to change my shirt from the last presentation that I just finished to now. Right?
Yes.
Absolutely. That was it. Because you didn't want to see me while I changed. So, here we go. A long time no see. Yeah, Sandy and I have been doing almost back-to-back presentations all day.
We have.
The AI panel. I was able to watch that and do some last-minute things. So, yeah, nice. Jamie's giving away.
I did give it away in the chat.
I did not forget to hit the go live button. No, that's not what happened at all. I have 3 co-hosts. One of them should have spotted the fact that we weren't live, so I'm using that as my excuse. The fact that we're all a bit punch drunk after a full, almost a full day of WikiTree, but it's been a wonderful WikiTree day, hasn't it?
It has.
It has. There have been some wonderful presentations, and so it's been great. And I hope everyone else is enjoying it here. So welcome to WikiTree Day for those who are in the chat live with us and those that are watching after the fact. So this is great. This is our Hacktoberfest wrap-up, and we are going to talk about Hacktoberfest, what worked, and our experiences, and then we're going to have an Appapalooza at the end, and we're going to show off some of the new apps that were created or changes or additions to the apps that happened during this Hacktoberfest. So what did you all do during Hacktoberfest? Okay, do you want
to? Yeah, I had to go look at the release notes to figure out what I'd done. I made some of the messages that were coming out of BioCheck a little bit more explicit, because it was kind of confusing. If you had multiple instances of category in a biography spread all over the place, you couldn't tell which were out of order. Couple of the little minor tweaks, and thanks to Alesh for adding a support so that I could add a report for challenge tracker items. So if you went and participated in a challenge and used the tracker to challenge it, you could get a report for that. And I also worked with Riel. He took BioCheck and ran with it to integrate it into the CC7 app. I worked with him on that, and I believe that after the fact, he took it and worked with somebody else to integrate it in something else.
It was the Ancestry Lines Explorer app.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's in 3 spots now in the tree apps.
Nice.
And we're all using the same messages. So when BioCheck yells at you for having the wrong thing, at least it's going to yell the same thing all the time. And it's going to help.
Yes, Finnegan is here. Jamie, what about you?
So I transferred my old Ancestor Statistics app into the tree apps, and then David Weinberg ran with it and has improved it with a few new stats, which is great. And then I also made like a little, so Rial had added an ability to filter to the CC7 app, and so I added just a tiny little change so you can see your missing relatives, and he also improved on that, so it's a lot better than what I had added to. So it's like I kind of did small changes, and then they got improved upon, which is great. And then I also looked at all the pull requests for the tree apps repository. Last year I did the browser extension, and Brian had done the tree apps, but since Ian does such a good job with the browser extension, it was like I don't even really need to manage him at all. So I gave Brian a break and did the tree apps, which was
that's great. Yeah, and Brian is heavily into work and some other stuff server related, right?
Yeah. We've been building an upgraded server structure. So
yeah, and that's nice that you let him focus on that while we act away. That's right. And Sandy, you joined us for all but one of the Hacktoberfest live broadcasts, and we really appreciated you. And so, how was your Hacktoberfest?
It was really great. I'm the end user, so after you guys build everything, I try and break it.
That's great.
So it was really great because I used to kind of do this type of thing before in a previous world and previous life. So it was really fun to get back into it and look at trying to break it. The thing that I thought was really interesting for me trying to break it as well is I tried to break it with really bad internet and no internet and try to use it because as the one that I did miss, I was stuck in traffic in rural internet Appalachia. So who knew that an interstate could go down to one lane for hours?
Oh,
did road construction. So it was really kind of interesting because as most of you probably do use some type of tablet or phone sometimes to do WikiTree and use it. I was using it as well. And we had words. My electronics and I had words along the way. A couple of times like, please work, please work. But then when I got back to a better place with internet, I could see that it was truly poor internet and the apps were great. I mean, I just want everybody to know how much work these volunteers put in to make conveniences for us and what we might be able to do. For example, let me just take Sourcer. You can pull sources, 20 of them in like 2 seconds. But I guarantee you it took Rob a lot longer to create that code and do it. So I just want to say that for us as the end users, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And we really appreciate, all of us developers needed testers and users and throughout the month to test things out. And I really appreciate you being the voice of users on the panels or when we did our weekly wrap-ups. So
and I should say too, thank you for mentioning that because I'm taking more credit than I really should. I do ask tons of people around WikiTree, have you seen this? Try it. And I'll post screenshots and try it. And if something doesn't work, then that's when I came back to you guys as well. So thank you to everybody who tried.
Yeah, it was great. So you might wonder what I was doing during Hacktoberfest. Well, I had a bit of a fail this Hacktoberfest because I was working on an app. It's called the Super Big Family app. And for a lot of the month, it was more of a super big failure because I was getting it to produce some of the family members, but not missing cousins, missing people here and there. And it was looking... So a week ago, it was disaster. 2 weeks ago, it was nothing but sticky notes because I had to go back to the principles and try to figure out how all these functions were working or why they weren't working. Anyways, now it's got to the stage where it's showing the right people. It's not necessarily showing them nicely or prettily. But anyways, I did talk. What's that?
They all look like the little sticky notes, though. When
they all look like little sticky notes. That's exactly it. They all look like sticky notes. Sad trombone. Yes, very much. So if you watch my earlier presentation from first thing in the morning, I do show what it does now, and I talk about what I want it to do eventually, and I will get to it. I still need testers. So the people who volunteered to help test during Hacktoberfest, I still need you or more. And I promise I will continue working on this. I won't wait till next Hacktober to finish it because I do want this to be done soon because I think it'll be a cool app when it's all done. If we have time, I will show you that as well. But I want to, when we get to the Appapalooza, I want to showcase all the apps that were actually done and actually worked. But I didn't get a single pull request in, so I didn't earn a single Hacktoberfest t-shirt from the official Hacktoberfest people, but I did get this one. WikiTree sent me this one and it just arrived, and that's why I had to put it on. And so that's why the video was delayed in starting. So here we are. And I can tell people were in my last presentation on math and genealogy because they're writing Fibonacci in the chat. And they decided that Fibonacci is going to be my biscuits keyword. So so instead of biscuits for Appalachia, it's Fibonacci for and then except for Steve wrote in Fibonacci biscuits. So I guess, you know, appeasing both fans. Before we get to the Appapalooza, I did have one question, and I just thought I was kind of hoping that we'd have a few more developers here, but we actually have some of our developers live over, are in a different time zone and are exhausted from the day. So we have regrets from Flo and Alesh and Riel. And Murray did a wonderful job showcasing the WikiTree browser extension, but he said the real heroes are Ian and Jonathan, and neither of them could make it tonight either. Rob is going to be demonstrating the Sorcerer app in 45 minutes, so he's in the green room right now, getting that all set to go. So we're gonna show off what we have, and Jamie's gonna do a little song and dance for the some of the stuff, and I'll do a little song.
Should I summarize kind of, or should I like read off
Sure.
what the other developers did? Because like we talked about us, but
that'd be great. Yeah.
So Stephen Harris, so for the tree apps, Stephen Harris added a new family portrait view. And he also worked on combining the family anniversaries and family calendar view apps, because they kind of were the same sort of data, just different, different views of it. And Riel, I think Kay already mentioned that he added biocheck capability to the CC7 views and the Ancestor Lines Explorer. And then, he also did a ton of work on the CC7 views just to add other sort of features. And it was like, even I think the last day, like someone had posted in this, maybe the testing and feedback thread, and was like, oh, like it'd be cool if you could do this, and then he just like went and did it, and the guy was like, oh yay. And Alesh added his WikiTree plus maps to the tree apps. And then I had already mentioned that David Weinberg improved the Ancestor Statistics app. And then for the browser extension, we're not going to show off anything today because, as Greg mentioned, there was already a couple presentations on that. But during this month, Ian added the CC7 changes feature, an editor expander, category tables and category filters features, a wiki table wizard, and a random space page feature, which are all super awesome.
It's so amazing, yeah.
And then Riel improved the change family lists feature, and Flo and David improved the migration category helper features. So we did have quite a bit of activity this month. And the other thing is that just because Hacktoberfest is over, that doesn't mean that we're just gonna not do anything until next year. Like we're always doing stuff. It's just kind of Hacktoberfest is just kind of a little push to get people that maybe like they're like, I'll get to it at some point. Just to get us all working during the same month. So
yeah, it's great. Okay.
One thing that I noticed this year, as opposed to last year, a lot more collaboration and people working together. So I think that really that was one thing that came out from Hacktoberfest this year. It really was a collaborative effort.
Last year was a bit hard just because the projects were so new. So we're trying to figure out like, how do we collaborate on something like this? But because that was all figured out last year, it's like this year we could just focus on features, which was cool. Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah, there was so much more collaboration. Yeah, and just personally, at least the first half of last month or last year, Hacktober, I was just trying to get the app to compile and to work and to figure out how to use the GitHub to upload it so someone else could use it or look at it and see. And the other thing was, converting it from the one version, like the fan chart from the standalone to this, I was embarrassed to try and share any of that code with anyone else because it was a mess. It was a mess for me to try to figure out how to do things in a slightly different way so that it integrated with tree apps. But this year, as Kay said, there was a lot more collaboration. I actually have a collaborator, Steve 80, was helping me out. He's adding settings to the super big family tree failure app. Which so since I haven't got it working, we can't show off the work that he is doing, but he's going to continue. He promised me he's going to continue to help me out after this month. And and the integration with the biocheck. I mean, that was just another wonderful collaboration. But yeah, great stuff. And Jamie, do you have any other things that you like overall, real successes or things that you might think about doing next time?
So this time I really wanted to get better documentation up on how to get started, and I just did not get to it. I was traveling half the month, so I kind of was like just trying to keep up with Hacktoberfest stuff. Kay said she was going to help me.
Oh, nice.
Kay's the other WikiTree apps project leader. She joined me as a project leader a couple months ago.
Yes, congratulations, Kay.
And when we go traveling in the RV, I'm not going to be doing a lot of coding because I won't have the environment to do it. But when I was working, I won the Golden Pen Award when they were giving out gag gifts at holiday parties. So I can help on documentation. One thing that happened before we got to Hacktoberfest this year, a concerted effort by all the developers to improve performance.
That's true. Yeah. With the new Get People API, which might not mean anything to people watching, but basically it was another way of querying the database, the WikiTree database, which was more efficient. So many of us rewrote the way our apps queried the data, and that improved them a lot.
Well, you'll see the difference between the old apps and the new ones.
That's right. Well,
the API.
Yeah, and the fan chart is a perfect example of that, because going 10 generations on the old fan chart was slow and painful, and sometimes had gaping holes because it dropped the connection or only returned some of the ancestors. But with the new one, you can get there much faster and much more reliably. You'll almost always get all the ancestors that you expect in the tree apps version. So you really should be using the new tree apps version of the fan chart.
Yeah. Previously, if you wanted data on a person, you had to request that person individually. And what Get People does is that you can, if you're requesting family member, it uses the connection finder that Alesh built, which is amazing. And so you can get up to 100, or request up to 100 people's family members with one call, which is why it's so fast. Or if you're not requesting family members, you can ask for 1,000 people's data at once. So yeah, that's why it sped stuff up quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yeah. So yeah, that's great. I guess my takeaway, what would be when I take? Well, there's certainly a lot of collaboration, so that's great. I think I thought I was well prepared, but obviously the logic was failing me there in the middle of the month. So I'll have to rethink that next time. But there's so many things I still want to do, and there's some things that I know that my suite of apps are not consistent about, that I would like to, which was one of the goals that I had hoped to get to. It was sort of like one of the, what do they call it when you're on Patreon or Kickstarter, those extra goals? What do they call those?
A stretch goal? A
stretch goal, yes. One of my stretch goals, that's exactly it, was to do some of the things like in the fan chart. Jonathan Duke added code so that if you go to print, it'll print the fan chart on a single page. No matter how big the chart is, it'll be on one single page, which you can convert to a PDF. And I wanted to add that to all of my apps, but I never got to that. But with the great collaboration team we have, maybe someone else will take that on while I solve some other issues. And we've got more programmers. And even today, I saw in one of the presentations, there was something, I used to be a programmer, I'd be interested. So I think there's still people who are interested in joining the programming team. So if you are one of those, if you're watching this either now in real time or after the fact, reach out to Jamie or Kay or myself, and we'll plug you in, because we can use all the help, because we are just volunteers and working away, on our downtime, whatever downtime that is. It doesn't mean what I thought it meant in retirement, but anyways, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so
real gar. I don't know.
Real That's Steve.
That's Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he mentioned missing links. So that was the first app I wrote in 2016, maybe. But yeah, don't use that one because it uses the old API thing. So it will take a really, really, really long time. Yeah, use the CC7 views and then the missing family drop down, because that's basically the same thing, just a bit of a different layout.
I have a question for each of you.
Okay, go ahead, Sandy.
So out of the apps that have come out of Hacktober, which one do you personally use for your own personal tree the most?
Well, I mean, it might not be
that extra 5 minutes, that you've had.
It might not be a surprise, but I often use the fan chart. If I need to get to one of my ancestors quickly, I'll open up the fan chart and then click on them to get there.
And it was actually you who told me and kind of taught me to use it almost as my homepage for WikiTree. So when I come into WikiTree months ago, I started doing this, and you can see everything. And I do the same thing. So Kay and Jamie, which ones do you use personally for your own trees the most?
I'll go first, I guess. So since I was testing the CC7 app and I had never actually used Ancestor Lines Explorer before. Like when it first got released, I kind of looked at it, but since Brian was handling all that stuff previously, I was like, I don't need to thoroughly test it. So it was like the first time I'd used it, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I turned on biocheck on the Ancestor Lines app when I was trying to find an example for one of the Hacktoberfest things. And that whole section of the tree lit up in orange or whatever color that the biocheck thing was, because it found a bunch of problems with some very early profiles I had entered. So I've kind of been going through on that and making sure it turns, or all the biocheck things get fixed. And then I've also been using the CC7 app to expand my CC7 a bit, just because previously I was using missing links to do that before the CC7 was even a thing. But it did take a long time for if you wanted to get into the further degrees. And so now it's like I can just go and pick the 6th degree if I want, or yeah, it's a lot faster. So I spent one weekend just trying to expand my CC7. I think I got an extra 150 people or so.
Wow.
Really? Wow. Neat. What about you, Kay? What's your go-to app?
Well, probably the browser extension, because I'm using the browser all the time. And so I'm in there all the time. And I'm obviously using biocheck a lot because I'm working on it, testing it, and it's leading me to fall down these rabbit holes.
Yes.
And for the Jedi challenge, we use it to count the number of improved profiles in the JedCon. But I'd have to say Sorcerer. I'd have to say I use the Sorcerer extension probably more than anything else. Specifically, I have a lot of the WBE features enabled. And maybe in the future I'll have time to go play with like CC7 or fan chart, because I know there's some places I try to do FAM. I've tried to go wide on looking at family, and I've got brick walls, but I've also got some wide ones that I haven't done. I've got a great grandfather whose siblings aren't all in there yet. So those will come into play if I ever get time to work on those.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I use AGC a lot as well because I'm working with JetChem stuff.
Okay.
Oh, and one more fun thing. So I'm at a conference this weekend, and I've talked to a few people that have they find out I am on the team of WikiTree, and then they talk about some of their favorite features. And a lot of them are apps that people have made, like Greg's stuff has been mentioned, Sorcerer has been mentioned, the WikiTree browser extension has been mentioned. So it's pretty
nice.
Cool.
That's very cool.
People really like what the volunteer developers are building. Or they'll see the fan chart or something and be like, wow. Well,
That's
Peter
great.
Peter Roberts is here, and like I don't know if any of you guys have ever met Peter in person, but he will sit down and talk to you for hours about all the fun features. And so like he'll show off all the apps and stuff, and then people will just come away like, wow, I didn't know that WikiTree could do that. So
Oh yeah, he's one of our greatest. I don't know, salesperson's not quite the right word for it. What's that?
Advocate.
Advocate. That's the right word for it. Advocate. Yes. Oh yeah. He's great that way, and he's so patient when he's working. I've seen him. I've seen him, witnessed him at Roots Tech, working with people who were not quite sure, and he'd be slow and he'd be patient and he'd help them out. And he's amazing. He's a wonderful guy. He's helped out. He helped me out a lot with the DNA app, and with ideas. Oh, he comes up with ideas all the time. If only I had enough time in the day to do all the programming that he wants to be done. A wiki evangelist. That's a perfect word for it. Yes. That's great. So should we show off some of the stuff that got done during this Hacktoberfest? Yes. Sure. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You can
which
start.
One of us can...
I am totally prepared to share my screen because I'm not here.
Okay.
But I
let
can
me
show off
just
what you don't get to.
Okay, so I will start here. Sharing my screen. Which screen is it going to be? It's going to be that screen. Okay. So there we go. So starting off at my profile page, not because I want to show off my profile page, but because then I can get to the tree apps. So I'm going to click on the tree apps there. And I guess the last time I was in here, I was showing off the Ancestor Webs app in this morning's workshop. And I did not work on the Ancestor Webs app. And in fact, none of my stuff will be here. Actually, I'm using the WikiTree link, and I should be using the test one to show off the new stuff.
Oh yeah, do you need me to pop that in?
Yeah, if you could pop that in the private chat there, I will. Or actually, well, you need to put it in the private chat for me to copy it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm a guest, so I can't post it in the public chat. It doesn't make links.
I will copy that link, and I will post it in the public so everyone else can see that as well. So if you want to test, you want to see the test server where all of the work was done, this is the place to go. Let me just go there myself right now.
Yeah, and I should get this live under the tree apps pretty, like probably this next week. There's just a little bit of adjustment. Like we can't just drop the code into WikiTree because there's a little bit of adjustment that needs to be done, and then I have to test it, and then it goes live. So. Okay.
So let's just go through them from the unintoffel list wasn't, but Ancestor Alliance Explorer, you said.
That had a lot of work done.
Okay.
So basically anything, most of the stuff that has to do with the brick wall stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then the stats line, or that says like out of, I can't, it's too small to read. Is it out of
sorry, let me zoom in there. Is that better?
Yeah.
Is
So the add to brick wall section was added. And Rial also, actually, I think there might have just been like a brick walls thing, but you couldn't choose like what it was. So one of those now is biocheck. And then he added the stats line underneath it, which used to be on the brick walls app, and people like that, so he added that.
So out of 30 possible, okay. Okay, so if I've checked off those, so now I have to redraw
the tree. Yeah.
And oh, of course, I chose one of my French Canadians who have a very solid tree back a number of generations. So what I should do is choose, let me think now, Douglas. Can I do this? Unexpected error. Probably because that's not a real one. Let me do what I just told Let me go to my own and pick off, so let's say Herbert. I'll go to Herbert's tree apps. Nope.
But that's the
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Has anyone mentioned how long we've been online today? There we have. So he's a much smaller one. So now, should it not be showing if I redraw it with the brick wall? So where's the brick wall indicator here?
So it should be the color of the
If you change the color, because everything's showing black.
yeah. You have to change the brick wall color.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Can you tell I haven't had a chance to play with others because I was banging my head against my own brick? Oh, look at, they're all brick walls. Oh no. Oh,
Well,
I know
so
why.
probably some of them are because you don't have the boxes checked. So
That's exactly it. I always forget to do that.
maybe redraw and see if so
There we go.
they're not all brick walls.
They're not all brick walls. I'm just a brickhead.
Yeah, and then and for biocheck, I think it's on a Mac. It's option click on the circle to see if there's a biocheck thing, but I don't know if any of those have biocheck issues.
Oh, option check. So I'm holding down the option key and clicking
On the
Yeah.
circle.
on the circle.
Maybe I should have demoed this one.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. You just talk me through it, and I'll try it. Actually, you know what? I think most of mine are pretty good. I can't. There are some that have issues, but I don't remember what they are offhand. Do we have a random person generator? Not here, right? This one. So that's very cool, though, having that jump out at you to the brick walls and other things. Now, what's this one? Position relative to birth year.
Oh yeah, that was added too. So it will change the circles depending. So like if one ancestor was born a lot later than the other, it will position them differently.
Right.
That was from a suggestion. I don't remember where it was suggested, but yeah, from just
I do
someone
remember seeing that. Yeah.
that asked for it, and Riel was like, "Sure, I'll do that."
Okay. We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that. Cool. Okay. Let's look at your ancestors to say. Well, maybe you should show that one off.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Let me.
Do you want to take over? Well, if we just go down the screen and then you can pop it back to me and. Can you share your screen, or no?
Yeah, I'm going to see.
Okay. If you put it up here, I'll add it to the stage.
Okay. There, I think it's there.
There we go. I should let you know that I showed your stats, your ancestor stats at the end of my math and genealogy. But I said, you'll have to come back for more stats. I didn't. But I said, there's so much math there where I could spend the rest of the night just talking about it. But I didn't.
So yeah,
now you
people see on the screen because I just see my window.
Yep, it's there.
Okay.
I can see.
Yeah. So when I added it to the tree apps, it didn't have this many columns.
Mhm.
So I had added the basic part of it, and then was it you, Sandy, that asked about separating it by gender? Or
Yes.
female?
Mhm.
Yeah. So David Weinberg decided to take what I had done, and he added that first, so you can get the stats for just the males if you want. And so you can see here, but he also the other things he added is the average marriage age.
Nice.
And the average number of children and the average number of siblings.
Oh, I hadn't seen those.
Yeah, he just added those. Like, I don't know if it was the last day. I think it was like the last day of Hacktoberfest. He ended up adding that. So yeah, there's some new fun stats. And now the oldest ancestors, there's just the oldest overall, the oldest male, and the oldest female. So yeah, and I think he's planning on improving it some more. Possibly.
That's great. And I noticed at the bottom that there's the link to the GDG post. So if people think of even more stats, they could add that. Yeah.
And he jumped in halfway through Hacktoberfest, right?
I think the first week he just made a bug fix to the browser extension. But yeah, I think after I had mentioned that I had added the stats app, and I think he had asked me like, oh, what can I work on? And I was like, well, there's this, and I have a bunch of suggestions from people that have given me over the years.
Mhm.
And so he's like, okay. Yeah, he did quite a bit. And I think he refactored the code too, so it would I don't remember exactly. I think it had to do. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah. So he made it more efficient, which is good. So yeah, that is Stats app. It's simple, but it's interesting data.
It is interesting. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah. So David commented that he did a last minute push to get his 4th PR pull request.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 4 ahead of me, David.
Although I don't know if it, because I think I accepted it like on the 1st.
Oh no!
I don't know if it counts. If it didn't, I'm really sorry.
Oh no! Oh no! So the next one alphabetically that was worked on was the CC7 views. That was people added to that, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you could either demonstrate it, or Kathy Nava says that she likes seeing you talk me through it like an idiot. No, you're not the idiot. I'm the idiot that you're trying to follow instructions. So I don't know which version. What would you like to prefer? Would you prefer?
It's kind of fun talking you through it.
Okay, then.
There
we go. You know what?
Where people are having trouble understanding the UI, I guess.
Okay, so now who should I load for the CC7? Should I? Douglas is pretty early on, so if I go to is.
You went the route that I did earlier today.
What's that? Oh, CC7 actually doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's not just ancestors. It's ancestors and descendants. So why don't I do that? So
maybe what you can do is, so on the very left, there's the privacy thing. So maybe just make sure it's all open so you don't accidentally, or all the white and not the green. Just
Thank you.
You make sure.
Oh, I want white?
Yeah. So open profiles, not public. Yeah, just to make sure that we don't accidentally expose any
Thank you.
Data.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so during Hacktoberfest, the first thing that was added was biocheck.
Right.
And so you can turn that on over there.
Enable biocheck on all profiles.
Yes, and you could also now select which ones you don't want to have highlighted. That was another suggestion that someone made.
Wow,
that's cool.
Yeah, like really went above and beyond. I was just this one suggestion, and he added all of them. So yeah, you can be very specific on what you want to see in the biocheck report.
Okay.
CC7.
I did not see this list before. This is news to me. This is great. Okay.
Yeah. And so you have to apply
changes. It's important to hit apply changes.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why it's not default is because it takes longer to get all the buyer information.
So now I have to get them again, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to get the whole CC3. We'll just use CC3.
And if there are any biocheck issues, which they will be highlighted on the left in orange around the privacy thing. So maybe there aren't any issues.
No, there's one. Nope.
No, that's just. So the box will be highlighted.
Oh, like this? No. Oh, do I have to do the privacy again? Does it remember?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it remembers privacy.
Okay. Privacy open. And now will it automatically have filtered?
Well, and so actually also over there, there's the biocheck filters. So
why don't we just do that?
The X that. So I don't think anyone in the CC.
Oh my goodness.
Had issues.
Well, let's look at the 5th degree only and see what happens there. And I'm going to go X. There we go.
So there are 2. And so you can click on it, I think, and it will open up and tell you what is wrong with that.
Missing references. What bonehead wouldn't put references tag in there? That would be me.
Sometimes people delete them, which is kind of frustrating.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've had a few people that
Yeah.
like edited a profile to add sources, but then delete the references tag, and it's like, well, I have some
Look at this.
references in there already.
At first I thought, oh, why was it doing on top of each other? But I can drag them around.
Well, and you can also press escape.
Like sticky notes, Kay. Like sticky notes. Sorry. What were you saying, Jamie?
Oh, you can press escape if you want to close the windows too. That should work. So
yeah, there we go.
Which is nice.
But it's kind of fun to drag them around.
Yeah.
And of course, if I click on, I have to click on actually click on Daisy's name to go and fix that, right? I have sources there. I did not create her, so it's not my fault. But I could fix her now that I'm here. I mean, why wouldn't I, right? Maybe because I can't type.
Make sure it's spelled right so it doesn't create another error.
Did I spell it right there? References with a slash at the end? Yes.
Move your mouse over the Save Draft button to check it.
Oh, there we go. The Save Draft button appears to have sources. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to, what do we call this? Formatting? Sure. Fix some typos. I don't know. We'll do that. Okay. Now, if I go back to here and reload that?
I think it should update.
And go to just the mistakes.
I think before you might have done just degree 5.
I did just to get 5 degree only. Yes, you're right. And boom. Daisy's okay. Good stuff. Okay.
Then can you show how to activate the biocheck again?
Sure. Yes. In this, you go to the settings, and then there's 3 tabs for different options. And I went to the biocheck tab, clicked on the enable biocheck on all profiles, and then I scrolled to the very bottom of that and hit apply changes. But then, so that's the setting for all future uses of this app currently. So I have to reload it to actually make it. If it had been turned off before and I just turned it on, I would have to reload the profiles for the biocheck to be there. So it doesn't automatically reload them and do the biocheck unless it was already. Okay, is that okay? Did I explain that right?
Yep.
Jamie and Kay?
So the other feature on CC7, so if you just want to get your CC5.
The whole CC5, okay. And I'm going to go to
you can do the open thing.
Okay.
So there's that drop down that your mouse is over.
Oh, look at that.
Click on that. There's one that says missing family.
Ooh.
And so you do that, and then it will let you choose which missing family you want to see. So so
I know that I did not check off all these boxes.
Yeah, so you might want to uncheck those. And then it will just show you the people that have no parents or just one parent. And those are highlighted. Is it purple for no parents and blue for no father and pink for no mother, I think?
Oh, and most of mine are
Yep.
Most of mine, and let me go back to.
Yep, you got it right. Purple for neither parents showing, missing mother, and blue for missing father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I noticed, and every time you do a filter, the privacy goes back to the default. So for presenters, if you only want to show the open ones, make sure you always do that.
And then the other thing is we all also.
Sorry, say that again. Jamie?
Oh, okay. The other thing that Rial added is the line that says out of 254 ancestors. He added that to this app too, just because people were interested in that. So
that's very cool. 6 have. Okay.
And I think there was some bug fixes and some other stuff done, but yeah, it was like always.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the two main things, which I think are both really
Okay.
useful.
Cool. Good. So what else do we want to show off?
Family
portrait?
calendar and family
Okay.
portrait.
I'm looking at the time and
Okay, so do the family portraits because that's the new one.
okay.
So that will just grab all the pictures within
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how many generations.
So that is my great grandfather. So I only had him and his parents.
Yeah, I think it does like up to a certain amount of generations and their siblings too. So
Right.
it's not only your ancestors, it branches out a little bit.
Yeah. So if I did Windsor 1 though,
yeah, that will have
that would give us lots.
hopefully.
Come on. Woo, there they are loading.
Right.
Woo. Nice.
Yeah, and I know so Steve Harris programmed
Mhm.
this one, and I know there's a change that's going to come to the API which will let him filter out like documents and stuff.
Yeah.
So right now it's just using so it would let him filter out documents and also show other portrait photos that are uploaded that aren't the primary photo. So right now it just shows the primary photo.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay.
Murray says he thinks it's 10 generations. That sounds right.
I think yeah, because when he showed it during the Hacktoberfest that 1 week, he joined us. It was 10 generations at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was new.
Mhm.
And then WikiTree Maps was added as well.
Yes.
By Alesh. So it's not really a new app. It was on WikiTree Plus, but he just added it to the tree app so it's easier for people to find. I mean, it does a lot.
And using Windsor 1, not a surprise, but there's a huge cluster around this little island that's floating in the Atlantic.
I wonder
why. I wonder why. If we zoom in, what island do you think it could be? There we go. Oh, well, look at, interestingly, another cluster around Germany, I guess, from the Hanover, connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the royal houses of Europe. There we go. So, yeah. So there's lots of things here, and you can turn on layers and different things, the cemeteries. So all the things, and this all, yeah, you're right. It's just existed on WikiTree Plus, but it's handy to get to it quickly here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So let me double check to make sure that was what was worked on.
So was it the calendar that was amalgamated that in?
Yeah, so it was family calendar, family anniversaries that were combined into one. So you just choose the drop down to change them.
Right.
The other things that were worked on this month that aren't live, we were trying to get additional parameters working the app, because right now they're getting stripped out because when we try to do it on the regular server, just because of how it was programmed originally. So we need to fix that so we can start linking to some of these apps directly from like the menu or some other pages, just to make the apps a little bit more integrated than just being on the tree apps, because we want to make sure that people can find them and use them, because they're all really cool. Like this will probably replace the anniversaries drop down in the menu. Just replace the WikiTree programmed one and go to the open source one.
Yeah. And you can see I have my watch list is way huge.
Mine, it's terrible. Like it's just under 10,000, and I keep shedding profiles, but then I'll create some more, and I'm like, oh, do I want to orphan this one, or do I want to orphan someone else?
Like, look at this, 1692. Like, wait, yeah. So there's lots of anyways. So that's good. Is there any we didn't cover that we should have?
I don't think so. I checked. And
okay, good.
That was most of the work that had been done. And then Steve is also working on some more mapping stuff. Like he worked on the cemeteries map stuff, and I know he's doing some other stuff. I don't know exactly what it is, but he is working on some more mapping stuff.
Cool. Wow. And so that's great. Kay did a whole session on the BioCheck app, and it's not BioCheck is not a separate tree app, but it's integrated into 3 of them now, right? The fan chart, the WikiTree, which one was the CC7, which we just saw, and also the ALE, right? The Ancestry Lines Explorer, and the browser extensions all had their own standalone sessions today too. So lots of great work on Hacktoberfest. Mm-hmm. The bit of work that I did, you could check out my earlier session if you wanted to see what that was, but it's not live, so you can't play with that. Though I did give a link to my test site earlier, so you might be able to see that in the chat. Thank you, all of you, for coming for our Hacktoberfest wrap-up. It was a great Hacktoberfest. Jamie, thank you so much for keeping us all organized and the weekly updates, and
thank you for participating, because I'm always worried that like no one's going to want to, like people will be busy. So it's just like, I really hope it's not just me this year.
No, it really was. As Kay said, it really was a very collaborative group and a very collaborative event, and it was wonderful. And Kay, thank you for all the work that you've been doing behind the scenes, as well as working with various developers to integrate your BioCheck and other things. And again, Sandy, for being the voice of the user and helping keeping us on the straight and narrow and whatnot. So it was wonderful. And so thanks again to everyone here who joined us. Obviously, we're interested in apps. And again, if you have any ideas of things that you'd like us to work on, bug fixes or improvements to any of our existing apps, just contact Jamie or Kay or myself or the app developer themselves. Send them a comment on a G2G post. Lots of ways to get hold of us and let us know. So thank you all very much. And in 3 minutes, I have to rush over to another room because Rob is about to show us a full hour on using the WikiTree sourcer. And then we have the WikiTree wrap-up, WikiTree Day wrap-up with some stats and some partying, and it'll be fun. And so
then the very last thing.
Yes, because you have more.
I have more. The very, very last thing. The end all of WikiTree Day today will be the global project.
Fantastic.
Don't miss the first 5 minutes. That's all I'll say.
That's all you'll say. Okay, the first 5 minutes. Okay, great. And what time is the global project? Is that after the WikiTree wrap-up?
It 10 p.m. Eastern 3 a.m. UTC.
Oh, goodness. Wow. Okay, great. Thanks again. Happy WikiTree Day. Enjoy the last few hours of it. Ciao.